Good afternoon. My name is Oliver Westmoreland. I am the Senior Immigration Advisor at GSN Immigration. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon so that you can continue to watch our extremely interesting videos about UK visa and immigration advice. Today's topic is something special and complicated: global talent visa. I'd like to say that these rules are so complicated, I'm not going to try and go in and out through the whole thing. I'm going to give you a brief overview. Mr. Shah, if he comes up to normal expectations, he will have lots of searching and interesting questions. This is a visa which is about a person, an individual. It's not tied up with a firm, it's not tied up with sponsorship, it's about an individual person. If we look at the previous name for this visa, it tells us a lot. Exceptional talent visa. Like the Home Office, every year or two they change the names of everything. It's very difficult to follow, but this is what the Home Office called it previously. That people who are exceptionally talented and measured by having been endorsed by a very respectable and proper and professional English body, or having won a very prestigious prize or award. But these standards are very high. These hurdles are very, very high. To start with the basics, you can apply for this visa possibly from outside the UK or possibly from within the UK if you've got leave already, if you have been endorsed by one of these very respectable and highly respected English bodies. I'll give you some most important examples. Arts Council England, Tech Nation, the British Academy, the Royal Academy of Engineering, the Royal Society. You notice that the word royal comes up quite a lot. UK Research and Innovation. If you have been endorsed by one of these bodies, you may be able to apply for the visa. What is endorsement? How do you get endorsement? Well, if you've done well in your field, or you think you have, you might say, I am a leader in my field already, or I am a potential leader because of my background, because of what I've done, what I've achieved, and everything. You approach one of these prestigious bodies and say, look, I want to be endorsed for the global talent visa. Do you think I'm good enough? You approach them, or possibly your lawyer helps you. This covers a very wide range of fields: science, engineering, humanities, social science, medicine, digital technology, arts and culture, architecture, fashion design, film and television. It covers a vast range of different things. You apply for endorsement to the appropriate body, the body within your field. If you're lucky, you get it. If you don't get it, well, hard luck. But if you get it, you get it. When you've got that, which comes in the form of a letter or a document, you can then apply to either the Home Office or the UKVI, depending on where you're applying from. You can apply for the Global Talent Visa. You can only apply for that visa if you've got the endorsement. If you haven't got the endorsement, you can't, unless you have won a prestigious prize or award. Home Office has published a list of such prestigious prizes and awards. If the one that you've got is on it, then you can apply as well. If you've got the award or prize, you don't need to get endorsement. As I said, it's for people who are potential leaders or leaders already, people who've got exceptional talent or exceptional promise, which is another way of saying the same thing. If you have the prize or award, you don't need to show more, because if you have won such a prestigious prize, then you are obviously exceptionally talented to begin with. Either way, you get this, you apply, you make the visa application to the Home Office in the UK or UKVI outside the UK. You apply for leave. Now, it's very flexible and very good. If you've achieved the first thing, you can apply for leave up to 5 years. You can apply for 1 year's leave, 2 years leave, 3 years leave, 4 years leave, or 5 years leave. Your dependents can apply, your partner, your children under the age of 18. There is no English language requirement. I think probably most people would have good English language anyway, but in a legal way, there is no English language requirement. You can make the application if you've got the endorsement or you've got the prize, and it's on the list. you should, unless your lawyer really messes it up, which of course wouldn't happen here, you should get the visa. It's not really so difficult. Visa fees are £716. If you're applying for endorsement, it actually comes in 2 stages. If you've already got the prize, or the award, it just comes in 1 stage. Processing times, I'm sure you probably want to know. Outside UK could be just 3 weeks. Inside the UK could be about 8 weeks probably, but there are expedited fast track services available. Your dependents can apply as well. If your application is going to be successful, theirs are going to be as well, unless something really strange and horrible goes wrong. This is, if you've got the endorsement or the prize, which is the difficult part, this is an easy application. You can come to the UK, you can work, you can sit around drinking Campari or coffee, but you can work. You can work for an employer, you can be self-employed, you can work for a business. However, you could apply for extension if you want. Now, as I say, you can get up to 5 years leave. After 5 years, you could apply for an extension. If you apply for an extension, then there are extra requirements that you must meet. After either 3 years or 5 years, you can apply for settlement potentially. It depends. These rules are quite complicated. It depends on which is your endorsing body and what you're applying for exactly. But either after 3 years or 5 years, you can apply for settlement. So there is a potential 3-year route to settlement in some situations. However, either with extension or settlement applications, you've got important extra criteria that you have to meet. If you can't meet, then it doesn't happen. You've got to show, and this sounds beguilingly simple, but it's true. You have to show, according to the immigration rules, that you have earned money during your last period of permission, which was connected to your field of expertise or knowledge. That's all it says. You must have earned money during your last grant of leave. So let's say you apply for the visa successfully. After 3 years or possibly 5 years, you think, I want to apply for settlement or perhaps extension. But I mean, a lot of people want to go for settlement, really, don't they? Because they want to stay in this country because it's very wonderful here. You want to apply for settlement in many cases. All you have to prove is that you have earned money in your field of knowledge or expertise. It doesn't say how much or for how long. I think we have to be reasonable about this. If you work for a couple of days in an employment agency, that's not going to be enough. But if you've got some solid evidence that you've earned money, salary, earnings, working in your field of expertise or knowledge, you can make the application for either extension or perhaps settlement. Really, it's as simple as that. But I'm sure Mr. Shah will have some complex questions that he wants to ask me.
To be honest, you've elaborated everything in so much detail and plainly. It's very understandable. I still do have some questions.
I thought you probably would.
So we spoke about them being able to work for a company as an employee and also as a self-employed person.
Can I just say something?
Yes.
Let's say you spent 3 years. You could have spent 2 years working for some silly job in hamburger bar, but then you could have spent 1 year working in your own field. I mean, there aren't any specific rules about this.
That's good to know. So they could potentially combine their income as well.
No, it's not about combining income. You just have to show something solid that you've worked in your field. It doesn't matter what you did in the other parts of that time. Right. There is no rule that you have to spend all that period doing that. I mean, it might be difficult, mightn't it? You have a highly specialised area of knowledge. You might not find it completely easy to find a job in that. And you might end up flipping hamburgers for a while.
Yeah.
Or being a nuclear scientist. Or,
It could be an artist looking for appropriate role in a movie or be doing auditions.
Yes, and you might not be able to find the work that you need, but probably you want to be able to support yourself. You might end up doing something different. But I mean, can I just say something? The reasonably creative person can see there's an awful lot of scope there, isn't there? You can run your own company. You can create your own company. You can be so. Oh, sorry, I do apologise. I messed up your whole thing.
No, that's very good idea. They can
Mm.
run their own company and
Yeah.
be able to work like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you create a company and you manage to do business,
Yeah.
and the company you're working in your field of expertise, then that's going to be good enough, I guess. I mean, like everything else, you have to provide solid evidence, but if you can, it should be strong.
Yeah.
Of course, now you do meet an English language requirement when you come to settlement, like everybody else,
Yeah.
and life in UK test.
Great.
But I mean, for people like this, that's surely it's not going to be a big problem anyway.
We spoke about them being able to bring dependents
Yes.
under the age of 18 or their spouse.
Yes.
Of course.
The spouse doesn't have to be under 18, it's only the children.
Exactly.
Sorry, guys, that was a joke. It is Christmas after all.
It is indeed. What about adult dependents? You know, some people do have adult dependents and they're completely dependent on them. What may happen to them?
Well, look, I'll be completely honest with you, as I always have been, Mr. Shaw, since I've ever known you. That's not going to work. There is a route, adult dependent relative. This is something very, very difficult. You have to show that there are serious health issues and a lack of care available in the home country. This is well beyond the scope of this discussion. I mean, of course, we can give you help on that as well in a separate way. I'll say something slightly different. Sometimes with children, in English law, a child is somebody under the age of 18. By normal Home Office rules, a child applying for a first visa has to be under 18. However, the Home Office always has discretion to go outside the rules. Sometimes a child may be 18 or over. They might be fully dependent on the parents for whatever reason. This is something I've actually seen in writing. I mean, we know it to be true, but I've seen it specifically in writing. The Home Office has discretion to grant leave outside the rules to a child who's 18 or over if there are strong and compelling circumstances. Dependent adult relatives, that's much more difficult, I would say.
Sure. Great. I think I don't have any more questions. We've elaborated quite in depth about this. Thank you so much for today's vlog.